Good evening, folks and goats, boys and girls. It is your Sheperd. Welcome to the Fantasy Goats YouTube channel tonight. Of course, joined by my host, the one and only Commissioner Rhino. Tonight we will. We are coming to you at a special time, um, which
Sorry
is
about that.
No. Sorry. It gave us an extra hour of gathering of all the information that took place today from Indianapolis. That's right. The Combine Week has officially kicked off. We will get into the news and notes from the NFL Combine, but we will also, guys, get into our biggest off-season moves that we're looking for, that we are monitoring, that we're watching. Last week, Rhino, we did our predictions for free
Mhm.
agency, and then we
Right.
wanted to, of course, now take free agency plus what we believe to be or will amount to trades for this season. We're
Yeah.
going to combine some potential bid trades. Again, potential.
Mhm. Yep.
Not set in stone. Nothing gets done
No.
until 2 weeks from now anyway. So a lot of this is just smoke. Nevertheless, some would say where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
But again, we will combine that along with the draft. And so again, we want to look at the biggest, I guess, transactions would be the right word. We're looking at the biggest transactions for the start of the NFL season. I did want to get into the news and the notes from the combine because, whew, Rhino,
Talk to
you.
me.
Nothing outrageous, but there was certainly, there's certainly a lot of substance that went on today. And again, we've said this before on many other shows. The NFL does a remarkable job of making sure that we are fully engaged.
Mhm.
Not just for 3 months. This is a 12-month operation. So where do we want to kick off? There's several layers to the news from Indianapolis regarding players were signed. Um, General managers spoke regarding free agents on their own teams, so on and so forth. Jerry and the Cowboys. Of course, we've got nothing totally outrageous. Let's start though with something that is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I might as well just say it. So the news broke today early regarding Rashad White.
I ain't seen anything about him. I saw something about Khalil Shakir.
We'll get to Khalil Shakir. He's going to sign a contract
Yeah, he's
extension.
trying.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We might as well just stick with Khalil Shakir right now. Khalil Shakir and the Bills did reach an agreement on a 4-year extension. It's worth up to 60 million. 32 of it's guaranteed.
That's a
All
nice
right.
contract for him.
Yeah, it's a nice contract for him. He's a nice player. He's a nice player.
Mhm.
He operates in that system nicely. He's reliable.
Very, very reliable. That's it. And there's no drama in him.
he's
Just there to play. He's just there to play.
he's a consummate professional,
There
right?
you go. Yep.
So yeah, he's going to stick around the Bills. It'll be nice again. All those things that we just mentioned for Josh Allen and the Bills. And spoiler alert, I don't think they're gonna do that much on that side of the ball moving forward.
No.
What are they gonna do? Look, the free agent wide receiver class isn't good as the rest of the class isn't that great.
That's what they're saying, but there could be some surprises.
One free agent was already on that team.
Yeah.
Amari Cooper. So I think I think this is a signal that, you know what, let's just get this out of the way and we're gonna focus on A, the defense.
Mm-hmm.
B, we'll focus on our draft efforts.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What's their
Um. So there's a report from like federal law enforcement that they are investigating extortion.
extortion?
Extortion, I guess, allegation. I don't want to call up X right now for an exact quote, but I really don't because I don't
No.
spend too much time on it. It's kind of non-football related, but then
Right.
it's a football player that they are investigating. That he's the subject of some sort of extortion.
So he's a subject. He's not extorting. He's a subject of extortion.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
yeah. I'll leave it with this. There's more to this story.
There always is.
There's more to this story. You got a dude seems to be um, professional in how he approaches his work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he's not of like that high profile prolific status, but then again, I don't really think you don't need to be. Okay,
No.
I guess I guess
He's a
you really
known.
don't.
Yeah, he's a known commodity.
So depending on who's in his inner circles, maybe his secondary social patterns, social circles, more will be revealed in this.
Hmm.
There's more to the story. Let's move on. So yeah, since we just spoke about Khalil Shakir and his 4-year extension, the Bengals, not the general manager, but the vice president of player
Right.
person,
I saw that.
vice president of player personnel. So high up there, probably, knowing this organization, he's probably the number two below the general manager.
Yeah.
They are set to make Jamar Chase the highest non-quarterback paid player.
40 million.
There would be more than that.
They said 40 million plus, but probably,
Jefferson makes 40 million.
is he making? I thought he was making under.
I got it right here. Well, I got this. I do have not X. I'm not going back to X for something on Rashad White. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. But I can go to contracts. That's what I can do. While I'm doing that, though, he's set to be the highest
Right.
non-paid, highest non-quarterback. Rightfully so. Here's what I'll take away from that. You cost yourself, your organization, probably a full year's worth
Oh yeah.
of money by not getting this done last season. So
Right.
now you're paying you're paying an additional year on top of the year on top of his contract.
And then I've also read that they said, it might have been the same person saying that they want to sign Higgins and Trey Hendrickson, and there's one more person that is a free agent, it's a big name on their team that they want to sign. Make sure they're signed. So it's gonna be interesting how they maneuver through all that, because I'm thinking Higgins probably be north 35 or north of 35. And Jay
Well,
Henderson, he was a sack leader last year, so he's gonna be 25 to 30. And I know they're banking on. I know they're banking because see the salary cap went up, what, 25 million or 15?
It went up
Yeah, yeah.
substantially.
But they're saying that probably by 2027 that the salary cap will be about 300 million. So these general managers and the money people might be seeing this and might be like front loading or back loading contracts to 26 and 27. I'm not an expert, but that would be what I'd be doing.
So,
I guarantee and back in.
well, I mean, I'll just say this, which is basically what I heard myself from the video clip, and I've also seen it numerous times now. This guy who went on several interviews today um, has it kind of sort of in the pecking order of like, okay, they he was in he was implying that Jamar Chase is all but is set.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now it's a matter of they want to retain T. Higgins. They want to do that, and they prefer the use the word prefer
Yeah, because
to
Burrow,
do
I mean,
to do a long term.
yeah,
Now, long term now is considered like 3 years. So I
I
mean,
was gonna
like
say 3 or 4 years, 4 years is the
that.
max.
So at least 3 years that they prefer to do long term, and then it's Hendrickson.
Yeah.
But another media commentaryist, if that's the right word, but I don't think it is, commentator, said that the order would be Chase, Hendrickson, T. Higgins.
Yeah, which makes sense because
But
their
again,
their
of course,
defense was kind of trash last year. So
it certainly does make sense. But let me tell you what does not make sense is this agreement that Justin Jefferson and his agent put together, because like, okay, his base salary is only 1.1, then he gets 7.5 when he signs, when that kicks in at the
mhm.
league year. It's not a lot of money this season. However,
He had a high guarantee because that was the stipulation last year. They're doing was he won a high guarantee.
his average annual puts him at 35.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Okay,
40.
so that I thought that was 30. I didn't think it was 40. I didn't think it was.
I thought it was 40. All right. Well, again, that's that. We all of us expect Jamar Chase to exceed that for sure.
Mhm.
And the Bengals should be kicking themselves in the ass, but I'm sure they've gotten already enough slack from the community and
Yeah,
from
yeah.
pundits and analysts and commentators on you absolutely should have done this last season. All right, let's move.
And they kind of need to do this because they have the stimulus the stimulus about them being cheap, you know. So they need to change that because if you're a free agent, are you going to go to a team that's known to be frugal and doesn't keep your best players, or go to a team that generally does keep the best players and stuff?
It's an excellent point, and I would say this: if they didn't if they didn't have the quarterback there
Hmm.
to kind of save their
Yep.
bacon, then they would be in a lot more trouble than they already are. Like I feel like they're gonna use Joe Burrow for all intents and purposes that they need to. Like, yeah, they may have the stigma of being cheap, but at the same time, who gives a rat's ass? We're
Yeah.
like, you do well for us, we're gonna pay you, so on and so forth. Plus, you get to play with him. Plus, we have a shot of like competing on a year in, year out basis.
Yeah.
They got off to a slow start last season. We all know what that was attributed to, and I think that's why um, Hendrickson would be number 2 on the priority
Yeah.
list. And
Yeah.
they're not they can't be finished. They can't be complacent there.
Right.
They can't be. They have to continue to look at ways to improve, whether that be again signing another defensive free agent, drafting well, so on and so forth. Not just keeping their own players, because
Yeah.
we all know what it looks like to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
We know what that looks like. And it takes a few different things to happen. All right. On to of course one of my favorites.
Jerry.
We're going to be selectively aggressive
Yeah.
this offseason. Now, The quote didn't come from Jerry, but again, this may have came from
his son, I think.
maybe it came from the son.
Yeah.
Who's look who's neck deep into this just as his
Oh yeah.
old man is. So
Yes, he
it's
is.
not we don't put him off the hook just because he's
No,
the
no, no,
son. No,
no.
I'm gonna lump him in as much to blame at fault for the
Yeah,
Cowboys' recent problems as his old man.
yeah, because he don't have the
Um,
ball to tell his dad to, hey, Dad, step aside. You're making bad decisions. You senile goat.
Look, I mean, it's got to be hard. It has to be.
I bet it is. Like I said, man. But I've referred to it as Al Davis syndrome. When Al Davis was starting to get older, he started making these stupid, you know,
It's like,
decisions.
it's like I could tell my old man, 100 times, like, what are we still doing with this cable company?
Hmm.
We're paying through our assholes. We should cut the cord, right? We should get YouTube TV. I'm just throwing that out there because we should go. Well, why don't we get this? Why we could save X amount of dollars,
Right.
and well, I mean, they're reliable, and I have this channel on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you supposed to do with that? Now you have two.
Yeah.
You have two choices from there. You do it around his back, or you just like capitulate. And it's like, okay, fine, no problem. Well, I kind of feel like Stephen Jones may be in that, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, selectively aggressive. Selectively aggressive. Does that mean they are going to now select which positions are of the highest priority and then go all in,
Yeah.
spend a
That's
lot of
what it sounds
money?
like. It.
Is that what selectively aggressive means?
Yep. And the room there. I mean, I see rumors that they're going to give up their first for Miles Garrett team up with Micah Parsons. But I've seen things about Micah Parsons possibly being on trading block too. You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
I think that has to be because he's kind of outspoken and out, not in a bad way, in my opinion, but he kind of says the way it is, and being good for you. You gotta have a voice like that, you know. So, and I saw Amari Cooper might be going back there. If that's what they mean by aggressively selective,
Well, that's the
you know what I
whole
mean?
point. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
It's now up for interpretation. It's up for it's almost on purpose. That exact phrase, those two words, selectively aggressive. Now it's up to us to interpret what the Cowboys are intending to do, which is exactly their MO all the
yeah,
time, which is to be the talk of the league, to be the talk of the NFL and the Shield, to be the marketing machines that they are.
yeah.
As long as we are talking about the Cowboys are relevant. And then, all right, so we'll see what they wind up doing. I don't know if I've got any type of Cowboy. I know I don't have Micah Parsons on our list for today. We may address Micah Parsons next week. Um, yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, that could be select aggressive in the draft.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we know what they need. They know what they need. Now let's
Do
see
they?
what.
Do they
Now
know what
let's.
they need though?
I think
You know, that's the thing. Do we know?
I mean,
I
we
don't think they
know.
know.
I think. Well, we know what they need.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know if Michael Parsons is included in that. I really don't,
Yeah.
because again, it'd be all. Oh, it'd be fun if we were playing with Monopoly money, but even if we were even if we were playing with Monopoly money, they have most of it tied up into one area, one guy.
Yes.
And that's a
Yes.
problem. And that's a problem. But
Yes.
we could spend the
Millions
whole
that one guy.
we could spend the whole show on the Cowboys. Let's move on. Judge's general manager Joe Horitz
Mm-hmm.
wants Khalil Mack back. Wants Khalil Mack back. All right, go ahead. No problem. I mean,
At a discount price though.
yeah, we know we again, right, we're gonna go right back to that Super Bowl blueprint. We know what this takes now. We know what you need, and the Chargers are also, in my mind anyway, and I could be dead wrong, but I don't think I am. The Chargers, the Raiders, the Broncos, they're licking their chops.
Oh yeah.
They're licking their chops. All we need to do is just take this team out 2 times, and then we'll let some of the other teams beat up on them. So they'll get a wild card. But hey, now the division has to go through us. They're licking their chops. He wants Khalil Mack back. Okay, go get him. Go get him. Chris Ballard. I think you'd like this
It's
one.
funny. Sorry to interrupt you, but it's funny because he said he's been come out want Mac back, but not Bosa back.
Oh, we may get Bosa tomorrow. Yeah, no, I only got Khalil Mack. He may have said something about Bosa. For some reason, I don't have anything on Bosa. I saw something on Bosa yesterday or 2 days ago, something with regarding Joey Bosa, but I may have discounted it because again, what
And
we're doing,
I believe he said he wants like top dollars.
what we're doing here, Goats, is giving you information that is either coming directly out of the horse's mouth or it's directly coming out of an NFL insider. What we're not doing, Goats, is giving you anything from an aggregator. No one that's speculating and doing a predictive
I love those aggregate.
That's not what we're doing.
No.
This is anything
I
that
don't like them.
anything that we're covering right now is coming directly out of, again, any insider. That would be the main reporters that we know of, and stuff that's coming out of like their own mouth. Chris Ballard, Rhino.
Yeah.
He was asked about Anthony Richardson.
Right.
He absolutely was, and he was pleasant about it. He's impressed is the quote I would use. He was impressed with Anthony Richardson, how he handled everything last season.
Good.
He believes that Anthony Richardson is quote unquote maturing as a person. There may have been a little bit, now I'm paraphrasing, kind of like deer in the headlights, kind of like he didn't get the full gravity of being in the NFL, but he may not have taken to it in the same manner.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's why he's using the word maturing. Maturing heading into year 3, but
he wants to bring in competition.
He's also asked about what about if they were to bring in somebody? It would be an open competition, and Anthony Richardson knows that, and he's got to saddle up. He's got to get his big boy pants on and big boy shorts, and he's got to he's gonna have to earn a job.
Yep.
That's that.
I mean, he needs to show improvement too on his.
Anthony Richardson needs to learn that that he needs to hit the dude open.
Yeah.
Because last season he couldn't hit the side of a barnyard.
Unless it was downfield. He's got a can of arm. He hit those downfield throws.
We even saw we saw misses there, but that's expected. That's not a high probability of success throwing a deep ball. It's probably your lowest probability for success. Your highest probability of success is throwing
mid-range balls,
10 yards, 15 yards, ins and outs and slants and crosses. Not necessarily the go balls and the vertical balls. Those are a little tougher for you.
Right.
All right. So
if he could get his, let's see,
his
ceiling is so remarkably high. If he could get it all to click, he could be a top 5 quarterback. If it's a big if too. That's a big if. But that's how high his ceiling is. But
it's
it's a big if.
it's a high ceiling based on his rushing ability.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy purposes, this is someone in a 1 QB league, most likely won't be drafted. If he is drafted, it will be late. He will be someone's second quarterback on the roster. And in a super flex league, yeah, you're probably going to take a stab at him as your second quarterback for a super flex league. If this is dynasty, same thing. In a dynasty startup, he would most likely be the 20th quarterback, 21st quarterback. Maybe maybe a little less. Maybe better than that. Maybe better than that. Liam Cohen, pass game will go through Brian Thomas Jr.
I started drooling when I read that today.
No shit, Liam. No shit. Liam, give us something that we don't know. Why don't you tell us that Christian Kirk is now off your team?
Yeah.
Tell us something like that.
And it's a running game going to go through Tank Bigsby with ETN being the third down back.
Tell us something that we don't know, right? But to give us that the passing game will go through Brian Thompson. I mean, not that he didn't already have a bullseye on his damn back, but now you're putting 2 bullseyes on his back. But he was also he could run the full complement of routes.
Mm-hmm.
He could do all of it. He could line up in all the spots across the formation. So he's very excited about that. He's gushing about that. I've got a not so favorable take on Brian Thomas Jr. That's because I'm the contrarian. I'm the one that likes to look at the other side of the coin. I think it's that double bullseye that's going to maybe cause some fantasy managers to get a little disappointed.
Yeah, especially if they have nobody on the other side to alleviate some of the pressure off of them.
I guess the main school of thought here is if he was that good with Mac Jones, and if this guy could improve Trevor Lawrence, and he should be an absolute potential top 5 wide receiver, and that could very well be the case. Now, I'm not suggesting that that's not out of the range of possibilities, but I'm also going to go on record, and I'm on record right now. As a matter of fact, I think that this could hurt him in a sense. This could hurt some of his productivity, and we may not see the same level of success, or at the bare minimum, maybe the same level, but not an increase. I could be completely wrong.
It was the same though. That's
I could be completely wrong. I'm going to go now to Ryan Poles he was asked about the run game. That's something that they need to take a look at, and what's available to them via draft, via free agency. And this makes perfect sense. Right. Perfect sense, because Ben Johnson didn't like DeAndre Swift from the get-go 3 years ago.
No.
3 years ago, right? Yes.
Oh, damn, that's right. Yeah.
He didn't like him 3 years ago.
That's why they got Gibbs.
Why in the hell would we be under the assumption that DeAndre Swift is going to get the feature running back responsibilities on this team? He's not.
Well, no.
He's not.
Even with the improved, he says part of the productivity was a bad offense line, but still, he's good. He's always been good out of the backfield. Catching the ball, but as a pure runner, he lacks. But
in 2022, this was Ben Johnson's first season, I believe, with DeAndre Swift. DeAndre did miss a few games. Shoulder. Yeah, right. Shoulder. Better memory than me. It was a shoulder. Maybe a little bit of an ankle. I was thinking ankle also. 5 total touchdowns on the year. They did miss a few games. Jamal Williams had like 17, 18 touchdowns that year. He went away from DeAndre Swift. I don't believe for a second that he's going to be using DeAndre Swift in the same capacity at all. Let's go to one of my other favorites here.
You want to answer this? Let me pull this question up.
Sure,
All right.
absolutely. Paul,
All right,
Paul,
Paul, how you
Paul
doing,
Goat.
brother?
What's up, Paul Goat?
Okay, so I'm not gonna be too concerned about Puka Nakua. From everything that I'm hearing, is probably going to be Aaron Rodgers coming in for Stafford. If not, then Jimmy G. Jimmy G can't throw the ball, and Puka Nakua will be fine.
Boy, did this come out of nowhere, Jimmy G. I
Well,
didn't have that. I didn't have that on my bingo card.
No, that's just McVay said that he's perfectly fine having Jimmy G. It's the system he's in. He played like crap for Josh McDaniels, but that system is not quarterback friendly. But yeah, I have Puka on my team, on one of my teams, and I'm keeping him. And no, okay, and there's worse than Rogers brings it. I'm not concerned about Devontae Adams either. Two different kind of receivers. Devontae Adams I think he's a year older than Cooper Kupp, but he's healthier than Cooper Kupp. So we'll see, but I don't think it's not going to drop off too much.
I don't think Stafford's going anywhere. That's just me. That might be wishful thinking for the commissioner Rhino and his team. I really don't. I think this is just a matter of working out the contract. So, for whatever reason, and this does lead us into the moves that we are watching. So, I mean, good segue. Excellent segue. Look, they took the money from this season to give him guarantees for last season.
Okay, so he's only making $40 million. He's due to make $40 million this year, right? Murray's making 46.1, Jalen Hurts 51, Lamar Jackson 52, Herbert 52.5, Jared Goff 53, Tua 53, Lawrence 55, Jordan Love 55, Joe Burrow 55, and Prescott 60. So my guesstimation is he wants to be paid probably around 50 to 55, and the Rams be good at 50. They'd be fine at 50 million, but I think if he's pushing it to be 55 or more, then they probably won't do that because they could probably get Aaron Rodgers for 30 million, and then start building, start using that extra money, to build the defense or build, to pay Alec Jackson, the free agent, needs to be paid. He needs to be paid first, in my opinion. But with that said, there's also is out there that the agent has been asking around what the price range is, right? What the comp might be. And so now there's the feeling that from a couple of the content creators that I trust, that they're starting to feel a little bit more that Stafford is going to be gone and Rodgers might be stepping in, and then they'll draft a Jackson Dart or a Tyler Slaw or somebody to play 2 years underneath Rodgers or whoever the quarterback is. So it's going to be interesting, I'll just say this as a Rams fan, and I've been a Rams fan since 50 plus years. I've learned not to get attached to players, so I don't get affected and go crying my Wheaties when something happens because I'm a Rams fan, not a Stafford fan. I root for Stafford. I love Cup, but I'm a Rams fan, so my fandom is for the team, not for the
Cup is he's definitely gone.
It's funny. One of the things I've seen out there is, and a couple of times now, and it might be getting a little bit of steam now, is the Um, Stafford and Cup to the Steelers for Steelers 21st pick and a 4th round draft choice in the 4th.
Say that one more time.
Cup and Stafford to the Steelers for their 1st and their 4th.
No. That's ridiculous. That's
If they can get that, then get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's be. I don't think the Rams get it first. I think maybe second
I
and the
could
4th and second.
now again. I could see Cup moving on to the Steelers. That's where I would have him land, but not Stafford. I don't see that. I don't see this like this big brother little brother type shit going on all over the place,
No.
like Rodgers and Davante Adams. I'm not even sure after today that even Davante Adams moves off of the New York Jets. We all know that Rodgers
came out about that today.
We know Rodgers is done, but the new general manager says that they have a plan for Davante Adams.
Yeah.
As of now, he's still on their roster, and
we'll know in the next couple of weeks. We'll know.
He makes an unbelievable amount of money, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Stafford, according to what I have here, Rhino, has a base of $23 million. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable based on his peers.
Yeah.
Like, hello, it was like a year. It was a couple of years ago that we won a Super Bowl. Yet I got this dude in Miami who can't stay healthy making more than me. I got this other dude here who I was traded for is making more than me. I mean, yeah, he's got a legitimate gripe.
Oh yeah, he does. I'm not discounting that at all.
I
think the sweet point for them, and he's even said that he would take less money to stay with the Ram. So I think the sweet spot would be about 53 for him. Do 2-year, $106 million contract, $80 million guarantee, something like that, and he might stay.
I think that would be acceptable.
Yeah.
I absolutely think that would be acceptable. It looks good PR wise, although like teams aren't that like it doesn't seem like they feel like that's a big thing. Like,
and then they can still draft a quarterback.
Like PR wise, like that shit goes by. It gets so old so fast. Like unless you're the Giants, of course, with Saquon Barkley, that'll never go away.
I've seen Raiders too. Raiders are
it would look good PR wise. Let Stafford play this out. Cup is a different story altogether.
And
he's not costing them. I mean, he would cost them more to keep him than it would if they were to release him. They might as well just release him.
Yeah, he'll be traded. And McVay was on Ryan Fitzpatrick and Whitworth's podcast. They asked him about the Cup thing, and McVay said that they had a very real hard conversation in November, not November, in New Orleans, and he said that Cup doesn't fit in their puzzle right now.
No, he's running counterproductive to the Rams altogether. That's the I think that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Not fitting in the puzzle would be the nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
He's running counterproductive to what the hell they want to do in terms of their speed and their offense.
Bingo.
And their offensive schematic. All right.
Because McVay said he said last year we need to get more fast. We need to get faster.
The only player that actually could afford and has the luxury of not being fast happens to be the quarterback.
Yeah.
In any event, that's what we got on Stafford. I actually am in the camp that he sticks. If he doesn't stick, because of course there's always going to be a margin of error.
Yeah.
I feel that he would move on to the New York Giants. It's just too similar. It's eerie similar to the Rams with Kurt Warner, and the Giants need They need a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to get to that at all, and I don't see it being the Steelers. I don't, because I think that they could. I think they could get. They could probably get Fields. Well, they could definitely get Fields. They could definitely also probably Darnold for less. They wouldn't have to, and they wouldn't have to trade any assets for it.
And then the only one I said is Raiders too, and that just popped up last 3 or 4 days because Pete
Right?
Carroll.
I mean, like if they wanted to spend money for Darnold, they could do that and not trade a pick. That's why.
Yeah,
All right. Speaking of Sammy Ballgame, Sammy Darnold, and the Titans are on the clock. Rhino, this is a big thing that I'm looking for.
and
What the
then
hell? What are the Titans going to do?
I think if I was the Titans, I'd use the blueprint that the Texans did a couple years ago. Trade back, get more draft picks because they have a lot of holes to fill. So get some draft picks this year and next year. Have a set plan, like a 2-year plan to get themselves out of the gutter. They can get a quarterback in the second round that's doable, you know,
And
or later on. If let's say Raiders, oh no, let's say the Jets move up to the number one spot and draft Cam Ward. There's a good chance that Shedeur Sanders might be at the number 7 spot for the Tennessee, or they can use that for um, Abdul Carter or offensive line, which they need offensive line help. They get Will Campbell there, or they could be right there and move back some more too, so and still get more draft picks.
I like the idea of it. It makes sense. If you wanted to move down, pick up some more picks, that's certainly one way to go about it. Or you could stay at number one
And get Cam Ward.
you I wasn't gonna. No. Let me let me finish off the thought. You could stay. What you could sign one of these free agent quarterbacks like Sam Darnold, right? Go ahead, let him compete with Will Levis. I'm not saying Sam Darnold is like going to replicate what he did with the Vikings, but he
Right.
does get an offensive-minded coach. We could see him get. We could see him be successful. I don't want to necessarily just chalk all of last year up to Kevin O'Connell. We could see that. So you wind up spending some money on Sam Darnold for a
Mhm.
couple of years. You keep your one. You draft Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
You get the best. Isn't he considered like the most athletic,
Yeah.
like the best
Yeah.
prospect coming out altogether?
Yeah. He's a
Yep.
stud.
So I get why okay, fine. You can move off of one. Now you're gonna pick up some other assets, some capital. I get, and you could use that capital for other spots, and I get that too. And I'm not saying or suggesting that it would be the wrong way to go about it. But it's like it also depends. Also, like okay, so who are they going to trade with? Are they going to trade with the Jets and pick down there? Okay,
Trade with the Raiders because Raiders, they're most people think that Shedeur Sanders and Raiders, but Raiders might like. I've also seen that they like Cam Ward, and Pete Carroll wants to be aggressive. They're in a win now mode too. So
I got Shador
yeah,
going to Uncle Pete
yeah,
and Las Vegas. There's too much that seems to be lining up there. There really
yeah.
does. Like that seems to be the spot where he's going like
Mhm.
legitimately, like
Yeah.
off the board. That there's that. Um, I guess we could chalk up geography to it, right? Like he's not that far from Colorado,
No,
being Las Vegas. That's so that he's in the vicinity, the region.
it's like a 4-hour drive, 5 hour
Yeah,
drive.
he's in that region. It's close enough, I guess. Um, he's going to sell tickets. Not that they necessarily have a problem with that, also, but it's creating buzz. And who knows? Maybe he actually becomes a productive quarterback in the right system, the right offensive coordinator. You got Pete Carroll. Now, the only thing that's kind of holding that theory back is the fact that the Seahawks and Pete Carroll are trying to go all in now. Now that
Raiders.
he could have just been saying that,
Yeah.
and they recognize that this may be a 2 to 3 year project. But I don't know. You got TB12. They have to get some of the pieces, like a Najee Harris. I have him going to the Raiders. I've got the Raiders
Yeah.
making a lot of moves.
They
You
got
got
the
it.
money for it, but they better make moves on the build up the offensive line before they do anything else, though. Too.
You got to keep Mad Max. Well, there's no point in having this conversation. You have to keep him. You have to keep him with Wilkinson. The whole this
with Kayvon Chase on, who
it
just
might
freaking turned a corner last year out of nowhere.
this whole premise. This premise relies upon the fact of having a defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Not a Jalen Hurts. You're going to need some of that, yes.
Yeah, no, but you need defense.
You're going to need a defensive line and an offensive line, yes. So we don't have this conversation if you're going to let Mad Max walk out the door to another team. That leaves me to, I guess.
Let me add one.
Yes,
you do need offensive line, but if you have crap ass secondary that can't keep the receivers shut down,
you need that.
That's not going to help the defensive line.
You need that.
Yeah. So
you absolutely need that. Makes it easier on them.
Mm-hmm.
Where they could just like sit back, sit on routes, pick off routes. Makes it easier on them. But yeah, you're gonna need some of that. Yeah, look. When I say the defensive line and that's the blueprint, there's more to it than that. Yeah. But yeah, I think Shedeur fits into this. I really do. And if not him, who else? Who's gonna come in? Another Gardner Minshew? That's not gonna fly.
No.
Would they go Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold coming from the KOC model, indoor model, nowhere near the same type of personnel, right? No,
wherever Darnold goes to, if he goes anywhere, they better have a good offensive line because we see what happens when he's playing beyond a not a very good offensive line. He's not the same Sam Darnold. So wherever he goes, they better shore up that O line.
All righty. We pretty much covered everyone. We really did, Rhino. Again, T. Higgins, they are going to tag him. Now it's a matter of whether they sign him to this long 3-year contract, or they trade him. Now, I don't think any team is going to want to trade for him, I should say. They're not going to want to they're not going to give up assets to acquire T. Higgins. I don't see that happening. But if there is a team that possibly may entertain it, it would be the New England Patriots in my mind.
Yeah.
And they need the help. If it cost them a second-round pick, they could say, look, we could do a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
We could draft another Pop Douglas, and we could draft another Jalim Polk. Might as well get something that we know is a little bit more sure.
Right.
But I don't think he's going to be on the market. Now, I think I thought Chris Godwin.
That's what I was just going to go to.
I thought
something came up. I think the day after we did our show that they might be franchising Chris Godwin.
They may be franchising him. I know they also like extended his negotiating
Mm-hmm.
window, which is like kind of like sort of like a new way of like saying like, okay, we're still talking. We, I don't want him to stay at Tampa Bay. I
No, neither
don't.
do I.
I don't. Um, but that doesn't mean that if he went to New England or another team for that matter, I wouldn't. His value just doesn't seem to be the same. He's been a buck his
Yeah.
entire career. He's played with Tom Brady, Jameis Winston, Baker Mayfield. He's done well with all these quarterbacks. He's kind of quarterback proof, actually,
Yeah.
kind of. But I don't see it 20. I don't see it working out for him going to another team. I really
What
don't.
about the
But I
Jaguars?
keep him in the state of Florida. Nah, that's
Lean
not
into
bad.
him.
That's not bad, actually. That's not terrible.
He'd be good with the Rams too. The slot.
I guess he would fill in that Christian Kirk role.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I don't know if he makes his way onto my fantasy football teams. That's teams S with a
Yeah.
plural, all of them. But the Jaguars, that's sneaky. That is sneaky. After that, I mean, God, you got Aaron Jones, J.K. Dobbins. Now she's the big running back prize, and I got news for you. Also, I kind of feel like this was we had this conversation last year,
Mm-hmm.
right? That do you think that the running back free agent frenzy went the way it did because the draft class was weak, so they wanted to just like
Right.
stockpile and solidify and just like get these guys that were going to be available, which are now signed players like Josh Jacobs, like
Mhm.
Saquon, like DeAndre Swift, because the class was weak last year. Well, it's the opposite.
Yes, it is.
It's the opposite now, and I kind of feel like that was part of it last year, 2024. Like, yeah, you know what? The teams that maybe didn't go all in, that were content on Rico Dowdle, that were content on signing Aaron Jones to a 1 year deal, it's because they knew this year, 2025,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to have a lot more talent that we could get affordably, even more affordably than
Yeah.
what we could have done. I mean, like Ashton Genty, just for purposes of the conversation, Ashton Genty is a mid-round, first-round pick. He's
I
not even.
I don't understand it.
He's a mid. I'll tell you, you don't
I mean,
understand
I
it.
know. Okay, wait.
Of
I
course, you
understand. I
understand it.
understand it, but I'm not drafting them there. I'm not drafting them there.
Where if fantasy or NFL real life,
No fantasy. NFL. I've seen him going anywhere
uh,
between the Raiders to the Cowboys and
that's
to the
mid that
Broncos.
that's
Yeah.
mid-round.
Yeah.
No, when I said mid-round, I'm talking the actual
Oh,
draft.
okay, okay, okay. Not
No,
fantasy.
Ashton
Okay.
Genty is going to be in the. He's probably third round.
No, he's going in the first round in some of the fantasy best ball drafts I've done.
That best ball dress.
Yeah.
He's. I doubt he goes that high in redraft. Maybe I don't even see him. No, not dynasty because most of them are super flex, and you're taking quarterback heavy. Um, and that's a gamble in best. That's a crazy gamble.
Yep.
And that's because you're also drafting 100 drafts, so you could screw around like that. Well, you can't necessarily do that in a regular season managed redraft league.
Yeah.
I think Ashton Genty probably at peak come August, he will be probably at the end of the second round, early third.
It all depends what team he goes to too.
The landing spot is going to matter.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It'll shift how he goes, whether it's going to be in that second or if he drops off a little bit to the third. I got him look, let's get back to selective aggressive. I got Jerry and them gonna
Yeah,
I have him going to the Cowboys.
yeah. I've
No
seen.
more no more of the shenanigans. Again, part of the blueprint, right?
Yeah,
Well, the running back was a major spoke of that wheel now, wasn't he? Now, again, Ashton Genty, I don't expect him to come into to his rookie season like he was Saquon Barkley. I don't.
yeah. But you gotta understand. Remember how hype was about Marvin Harrison last year? What he was going to do?
Yeah.
That's almost the same kind of hype about Ashton Jitney.
So the savvy fantasy football manager will take the lessons that we've learned and apply them into this year.
Hopefully,
It doesn't get any more simpler than that.
hopefully.
Know that. Know that if you see a quote unquote generational tag on somebody,
No.
that's smoke. Let's wait and see how Ashton Genty performs.
Yep.
Let's see
Yes,
how he
sir.
takes to the NFL. His body is still a 21-year-old for crying out loud. I'm not saying that he's going to be a bad prospect. I'm not saying that. But back to the Cowboys. If they want to accomplish a couple of things, they need a running back.
Yeah, they do.
Rico Dowdle was okay. He was just okay. They need a running back. Um, they would be getting him on a rookie contract that kind of satisfies them, them fiscally responsibly.
Yep.
Um,
For at least 4 years, if not more.
and if they're right, can you imagine if they're running, they may have like Zeke-esque in their backfield, Saquon-esque in their backfield.
Yeah.
Then you hit on the position. It was absolutely worth your the Cowboys' first round capital that you spent. Don't let them go. I mean, who's going to tell you? Go ahead. I mean, like, look, it's not going to hurt me at all. But if you want to pass on him for an offensive lineman, by all means, you're going to do that at your own peril.
Yeah.
Which they need that position as well. They may very well need defensive line. They need a lot of things. So
They need a lot of things.
they're gonna be very selective, I would say, Rhino.
Yep.
All right, good show, good episode. We will be back, Rhino, right? Not next week, this week.
You'll be back Friday.
Friday, the combine, baby. Combine. Friday is the tight ends, I believe, and linemen.
Yep.
Saturday is the big guys.
Yep, the
big guys.
running backs, receivers, and quarterbacks.
Our big guys are on Saturday. So yeah, we'll be on Friday to, I guess, recap Friday / preview Saturday's combine, what we're looking for. And then early next week, a review of the combine.
We'll do a stock up, stock down kind of show.
And just be on the lookout for all of our content, goats. Yep. All of our fantasy content, our NFL free agency / draft / rookie / all of it. We won't stop. Nope. If the NFL calendar doesn't stop, we won't stop for the goats.
Nope.
All right. Good show, Rhino. Good stuff.
Yeah, brother.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. We'll see you again later on in the week.
Be a difference, make a difference. Be blessed.